everyone, it's Rachel with Rachel Super Cute Creations, and I decided I kind of made this up. It goes over a page, and it's kind of like a bookmark, but also can be a hidden journaling spot. So you can put some coffee dyed paper under here or under here. But I thought this would be fun, and I have a bunch of book pages, so I want to go ahead and use those up. So I want to show you how I did this today, and we're just going to play with book pages. I hope everybody's well and healthy, and you're surviving this quarantine. What these are Reader's Digest book pages, and I have 3 pages glued together, so it gives it a nice weight. And the great thing about this project is you can use one Reader's Digest book page, but if you don't have Reader's Digest pages, don't worry about it. I'm switching out my cutter because I was cutting cardboard. When your cutters start to get dull, mark them so that you can use them for cardboard or chipboard. Hi, Luann. So that you don't accidentally use the wrong one. So for this project, you're not going to need a lot of supplies. You're going to need some book pages. You will need a corner rounder if you want to round your corners. I do need to grab mine. Sorry for the noise. And you'll also need, I'm just going to adjust this, your ink pad if you want, and some scissors. So pretty much besides that, you don't need a lot of tools. So this first piece is 3 inches wide, and the top piece is, I think it's 2 if I remember correctly. Yep. So we have a 3-inch and a 2-inch piece. So what I do is I like to start by just straightening up the edge of my book page, taking off this gummy spot. Hi, Mitzi, how are you? Welcome. And then I'm going to measure it to the 3-inch slot. And then I'm going to go ahead and and what I'm doing is I'm trying to get the most writing. And there's my 2-inch. So here is one of my tags, or my little banners. So we'll do that again. We're just going to straighten up the edge here. So 3 inches. And then I'm going to do a 2-inch piece here. So I'm going to line that up, and 2 inches. So I'm going to cut a few of these so we can go ahead and make a few as we go. And if you get a spot like where you didn't get glue, for example, just take your glue stick and glue that down. Now, some of these, you know, you can make them bigger or smaller if you wanted to. This is just kind of what I was trying to do, use up the bulk of my pages without wasting a lot, but still being able to put something cute together. And you can see I'm wasting very little of the book page. This is it. And I will throw these away. I will not keep those. Some of you might find something else to do with them, but I'm really trying to use up what I have. And one of my goals while we're kind of staying home and staying safe is to use up what I have and organize some things. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So I have my junk journal room. Yesterday, I spent quite a bit of time just organizing, finding things. The great thing is, though, I also found a bunch of my items that I've wanted to do on my live sale. So I will be doing a live sale soon. Probably next week, just because I'm sorting some things together and getting some things around. So maybe next Saturday we'll do a live sale. And that'll be really fun. I've also been cleaning my house, like I'm sure everybody else has. I'm already kind of a clean freak, so all the things that they've been telling us to do with the bleach and all of that stuff, I do on a daily basis anyway. So it really wasn't much of a change. The only thing is we are, especially like my Etsy stuff, is we're just ensuring that it's sealed in plastic, cleaned. We're using gloves, all that fun stuff, and just getting it sealed so that it's ready to ship. Okay, so like this one has a picture on it. And you could leave the picture if you wanted, depending on your book. Or I just put it on the back side and then I can use it I just cover it with some coffee dyed paper or some white paper. All right, so we have quite a few right here stacked up. So I'm going to take the rest of these book pages and I'm going to set them to the side. And the next thing you have to do, hi Cindy, how are you? Welcome from Wisconsin. The next thing you have to do is you have to take your corner rounder. And if you don't have to do this step, if you don't have a corner rounder, don't worry about this step, but you want to make sure your words are going the right way. So you don't want to quarter round, some upside down and some right side up. So we're just going to corner round our edges. So how many of you, I have someone from Wisconsin. Where else are we from? I know Luann is from Michigan, where I'm from. Mitzi, where are you from again? Hi, Emma. How are you? Welcome. So glad you guys were able to, I wasn't sure how busy I'd be. I thought, well, I'm just going to do some crafting. I spent all day cleaning, my husband and I and my daughter, and did some cleaning that we don't normally do. So that was fun. At least for me. I don't know about for them. But we did like all the windows and we cleaned out cupboards and cleaned out junk drawers. And so she decided she was ready to go and watch some Netflix, and my husband was going to go and putz around in the garage. And I decided I was ready to make some embellishments. So thought I'd turn the camera on. Hi, Emma's from Indiana. All right. So is Indiana on a stay home order, Emma? All right. And I'm just using a glue stick. All right, so I went ahead and we just corner rounded all of these, which is great. I'm going to empty my corner rounder because I see it's full. One of the only things I do not like about this We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder is it's horrible to empty. And it gets all jammed up in there and makes an absolute mess when you want to empty it. I love the corner rounder, but I hate emptying it. Sorry for the noise. Okay. All righty. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the banner part. And this part is pretty easy. You have to decide about how long you want them to be. So for this one, we're going to make it a little bit longer than the original. Yeah, you can only shop for essential items. That's where we are too. So I kind of eyeball it with my scissors and I cut right in the center. Okay, just like that. And then all I do is cut the banner. Just like that. And then for this one, though, you need it to be shorter. So you have to determine how much shorter do I need it to be. So I like to cut about 1.25 inches off. And that's just an estimate. Excuse me, I can't talk. And because what I want is I want it to be about a half an inch taller. So I'm going to do this, or shorter, I'm sorry. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go eyeball it in the middle, cut up, cut my first triangle out, and cut my second triangle out, just like that. Oops, didn't do a very good job on this one. And you can kind of straighten it up. All right, and so you end up with pieces like this. Now, I just noticed, see how this is not glued down? So I'm just checking my edges to make sure that those are glued down well. All right, so let's do that again. So this one you can see is going to be longer than the first one I made. So you can make them different lengths. The thing I love about book pages is you can just go right under. I just use the line of text to help me. So this one will make shorter. So I'm going to go ahead, I cut up the middle, and then I'm going to cut my 2 triangles out. Easy peasy. And then for this one, we have to do the same thing, but remember we have to shorten it. So I just line it up at the top, and then I kind of figure out where I want to cut it. Cut right underneath my lettering. Cut up the middle. And for some reason I can't cut straight. Hi Tanya, how are you? Welcome, welcome. All right, so once you do that, get all these pieces out of the way here. Now, these rectangle pieces, because they're heavy, I keep these because I can use these in snippets. So I'll set those in a pile up there. I do throw the triangles away. The next thing I do, is I want to make sure that all my edges are glued down well. So just make sure that they're glued. You don't have any pulled up. You can sew, whoops, sorry for the noise. You can sew around these, and then I just ink around them. So what's everybody up to? I decided to make a journal yesterday. And so I'll show you guys in just a minute my little journal. It's a little spring bunny. It's one of my spring paintings. And I normally teach paint parties locally. But since we're in a quarantine and we're not allowed to do things in public settings, I decided, well, you know what? I wanted to make a journal. I wanted it to be really simple and something that was happy. So I went ahead and on my YouTube channel, I'm sorry, not my YouTube channel, on my Facebook channel, I went ahead and I did a live video of me painting the cover of the journal. And then I put the journal together. So I'm just checking my corners to make sure that they're glued down. All right. And you could also make really great journal cards out of old book pages. But I just thought these were fun and you could decorate them really cool. Plus, they're really flat. And then if you have somebody who's maybe not a junk journaler, but it likes to read, these are great bookmarks. So these are something that you could make up easily and slip them in a piece of Happy Mail. They're great for like to send to nursing homes and things like that as a little bookmark. Okay. So now that we've inked these two up, I'm going to show you how to make the hinge. So the hinge, I like to make out of coffee dyed paper, but you can do it out of whatever you want. You can use music paper, you can use coffee dyed paper. So I'm going to grab a piece of coffee dyed paper here. All right. And what I want to do is I want to cut a 1/2 inch strip. So I'm cutting a 1/2 inch strip. You know, I might want to go, I'm going to cut a 3/4 inch strip. I think, yeah, I think a 3/4 inch is going to be a little easier to work with. So let's look at the 1/2 inch. So the 1/2 inch is going to come, and basically what you do is you cut it about 1 3/4 inches. And you're going to use this little tab to adhere it. Oh, a 1/2 inch will work. It'll work. It's just kind of hard to fold. So you want to fold it in half. And I'm going to grab my bone folder. And I'm going to fold this in half, just like that. And then what I want to do, I want to be careful though, because what I don't want to do is make this so tight that the hinge doesn't work. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to line this up. And what I'm noticing is, see how it's just a little bit too wide? Let me see what this looks like with a 3/4 inch. I think I'm going to like it better with a 3/4 inch. Yeah, I like it better with the 3/4 inch. So I would recommend you cut a 3/4 inch strip. And you want to make sure that this fits right before it starts to curve over. So see how I want it to fit nice and flat? So now I'm going to go ahead and align this up so it's in the center. And because I want it to dry fast, I'm going to use some Fabri-Tac, but you can use any type of glue that you want. Put some Fabri-Tac on there. Hold it down. And then I'm going to do the same thing right here. But before I do that, this is the one that has the dog on it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a 3-inch strip. And we're going to cover the back of this one. If I use the right side of my corner rounder. Yep, so I'm going to just add this to the back with some glue stick. And sometimes when I'm using these Reader's Digest, I'll just be careful about not having the pictures, and I will go ahead and just maybe add 4 pieces of paper instead of 3. I didn't catch it when I was doing these last night. So a lot of times I'll just take book pages out to the couch, and while I'm watching TV, I'll go ahead and glue book pages together. All right. So let's line this back up. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue this down. All right, so Luann is working on an herb journal. Ooh, I can't wait to see that. Emma says she's putting off house cleaning. Yeah, you could absolutely stamp some things along the blank edges. That would be really pretty. Just double checking to make sure it's lined up in the center. And I'm going to glue that down. And then I like to open this up and I like to put another piece on the inside right here. So, but I want to cover this picture. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut a 2-inch strip now. I'm going to corner round it, just like we did on the previous one. And what we've done is we've created hidden journaling spots. Because unless you flip this open, you don't know that there is a journaling spot there. Okay. And then I like to cover this piece. This part is not necessary, but I like to cover it. And this is where I use my 1/2-inch piece because I like it to be a little bit smaller on the inside. So I'm going to just knit. And we're going to cover that up. And I can just use a glue stick for this part. I'm going to go ahead, make sure this goes in the middle. And I now have this cute little banner. Isn't that cute, you guys? I think it's cute. And you could do stamping along here. If you had little peg stamps, that would be adorable. You could put a word down there. I was even thinking I have some of these flat embellishments that I did a while ago. And these would still keep them pretty flat. Let's find one a little smaller. And I did these just out of strips of scrap. Let's see if I have a small one. That one's kind of big, but that would work. So I could put something like that on the front of it and then flip it up and you've got a hidden journal spot. I could offset this so I could have it like this if I wanted to. So this could flip up. I just thought these would be really fun. And I thought, wow, these are something we could make in bulk. You know, look at this. I could just add that adorable piece and I have this cute little journaling spot banner. So this is what I'm planning on making today. And we're just going to kind of play around a little bit with them. And it's nothing like rocket science or brand new, but I haven't particularly seen anything like this before. Maybe you guys have. Maybe I just saw it someplace else and got it on my mind that I wanted to make it, but I haven't seen these before. So I'm not saying they're new and I invented them, but I've seen some other things. So I'm going to go ahead. I need to trim this just a little bit. I'm using the 3/4 inch again on my outside, lining it up. It's a little too wide still. Tanya, you haven't seen them either? Yeah, you could put a piece of washi tape. For those of you that have washi tape, I have tons of washi tape. You could put a strip of washi tape along the side. Do a lot of different things. So I definitely need to name these something. So you guys have any ideas what I can name this? I was kind of thinking like flip banners or something like that. I know it's not all that unique, but let's think of a catchy name and I'll do a small video on these and put them on my YouTube channel. You gonna make these today, Tanya? Good. Yeah, I just think they're fun. And I've had the idea and I've had the prototype for a while now. And I've been wanting to do a video. Double flip banner. Yeah, I kind of like that. That's a good one, Emma. So I've been wanting to do them for a while, and I thought, oh, and so you can make them all different sizes and shapes, and here's 3 different sizes. 1, 2, 3. We can make them short. We can make them long. Just fun. Yeah, that was sort of my plan, you guys. My plan was, so here's my little journal I painted yesterday. Isn't this adorable? So I hand painted my cover. And then I added some antique quilt on the inside, and then it's just plain pink pages. But my thought was that these would just go over the page like this, if I can get. And so the cool thing is it's kind of like a bookmark on the top, and it's on both sides. So you could decorate both sides. We could decorate both sides, and it would look like it's an embellishment. And then when you open it up, you have journaling space. I just thought they were fun. I also will probably sew around some of them because I think it would be pretty to sew around a few of them. This was my prototype, so I see I didn't get it glued together very well. So sometimes when I'm sleepless at night, I will get up and just play with paper because what else am I going to do? I can't be loud because my family is sleeping. So yeah, I like the look of it in a journal too. I just think it's so cute. And it can be used as a bookmark. Like I said, if you have someone who is reading a book, you could just as easily use it as a bookmark. You could put some inspirational quotes on it. But I think they're really cute. And then this is the long one. This is the almost full page one. And I love how this looks. You have that nice long banner, and then you have this nice long piece on the back. And, it's reversible too. So you could, if I wanted it to be, the journal paper on journaling page on both sides, we could have it like that. That's the nice thing about if you double it and cover both sides on the top is you can flip it if you want. So it can be 2-sided. So I think that's kind of fun. All right, so let's make a few more of these. So I'm going to make another longer one. So I'm just cutting in the middle. Cut my first triangle out, cut my second triangle out. And this is a great way to just build your ephemera stash for your journals. Is spend a Saturday or a Sunday or a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, because right now every day is a weekend, right? For many of us, it feels like it anyway. I'm working from home, and my husband's working from home right now. But I was technically supposed to be on spring break this week. So I will still be working because we're working on trying to figure out if we don't go back to school on the 13th, what we're going to do for kids. And so I've been working with a group of people on that, which is fun. You're in lockdown in New Zealand? Yeah. Yeah. We're in lockdown here in Michigan too. It's just, and unfortunately, I don't see it ending anytime soon. I hope it does, but every time I turn on the news, I see more bad news. And so I have to get away from the TV and away from cleaning because my hands are like raw. See how red they are? They're red because I keep using bleach. I've already been someone who bleaches my house a lot. I go through a case of bleach a month on a regular without the coronavirus. Yes, I know I'm manic about certain things. And so now Just this week, I have gone through 3 gallons of bleach. I'm bleaching my floors only because my husband had been going to work. Um, and so he was still bringing germs back in. And so I just would re-bleach everything once he came through the house. Um, and, if you bring groceries in or whatever, you have that whole process, and it's just been very stressful. So it is time for me to start doing some videos, seeing all of you. It gave me a great opportunity to dig out some amazing finds that I've had that I wanted to do for live sales, and I just haven't had a chance to do it because I've been so busy with school and being a principal. But since I'm home and I'm not driving 2 hours a day to go to work and come home, I'm excited that I'm going to be able to do another live sale. And we are now officially home. Nobody's leaving our house. I have set up pickup for all of my Etsy shop orders and everything. And so those are all getting picked up right at the door. So I don't have to go out and do that, which is wonderful. Everything is double bagged and double sealed. So when you get your orders, you can just tear the outside packaging off and throw that away. And then you'll have another inside packaging. So you won't have to worry about anybody touching that stuff. So that's been a little interesting too. Oh, Tanya, I love that. Yeah, we should do that. Okay. So yeah, I mean, these really don't take long, and I would recommend, kind of doing them in an assembly line like I'm doing them. I wouldn't, I mean, you can do one at a time if you want, but I think it's just as easy if you just kind of like I do, make a assembly line, and we can whip these babies out pretty quickly. As you can see, if I wasn't talking as much, I could whip them out faster. The other thing I've been doing is just cooking again. So I'm hoping my family doesn't get too used to me cooking all the time. Um, because when I go back to work and we go back to normal, yeah, all these home cooked meals are not going to happen until I'm off on vacation or on holiday. Um, Normally we're just grab and go. My daughter is an athlete, and so we're constantly going here and there for athletics. And as I said, I drive an hour to work and an hour home from work every day. And I'm at a performing arts school, a principal of a performing arts school. So there's always something going on in our school, some sort of performance or athletic event. So there's lots of nights I don't get home until 9 o'clock at night, sometimes 10 o'clock at night, and I leave by 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's very strange to be home. Um, Even when I'm working from home, I'm when work's over, I'm home. I don't have to travel. And for 18 years, I've been traveling back and forth, so that's been interesting too. All right. So I've now cut all of these. So is there any kind of embellishment videos you guys want me to do? I'm really thinking about doing more videos since I'll be home at a decent time. I do a lot of my videos in the summer because in the summer I work 4 10-hour days and we're off on Fridays. So my husband always works on Fridays. So I usually video on Fridays. So in the summer, you guys get a lot of videos from me just because I'm home. But now I have an opportunity because I'm not coming home at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, that after I'm done working during the day, and have dinner, you know, I can do a video because I'm not traveling an hour. The other thing you can do on these, which is I think would be beautiful, is some stenciling. So you could just lay a stencil over top and do some stenciling. These would be fun to do some mixed media. And you can, of course, add, you know, anything to them. I'm just trying to keep them pretty flat so they can go anywhere in your journal without bulking it up. Does anybody have like a quarantine plan? So I'm in for at least another 14 days. So one of the things I'm planning on doing today is creating a quarantine craft plan for myself for the next 14 days. Like, what can I get done in the next 14 days? And that way I'm not just watching TV, and, you know, I want to be productive. And if I can't be productive with the kids at school, I want to be productive at home and getting some things done. And I don't need to clean much more. My house is pretty clean. I was joking with my friends, who all know I'm a little obsessive compulsive when it comes to cleaning. I said, you know, if you need emergency surgery, my house is the place to go. I think I'm cleaner than the hospital right now. And so they laughed and said, well, your house is always cleaner than a hospital, but I'm sure now you're even cleaner. And so I definitely need to lay off the cleaning, because I'm going to start cleaning and removing things off of my I'm going to start ruining surfaces pretty soon. And you can see this really does not take that long if you do it in an assembly line fashion. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our little pieces together here. And sorry, I didn't mean to drop that on my glass mat. So, all right, so I just prepared 3 pieces. All right, so Emma is saying, do journals have to have a theme? I think that's why I struggle with putting a journal together. Absolutely not. They don't have to have a theme. I sometimes my journals have themes and sometimes they don't. In fact, one of the ideas I have for a journal right now is creating a journal that will allow me to just put examples of different ideas in. Because one of the things I find that I struggle with is a lot of times I'll just keep putting the same type of embellishment in my journals over and over, because I forget about things that I've made 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And then I go back and I go, oh, I wish I would have done that because I forgot about that. So I have an idea. Those of you who watch Gail Gastinelli, she has a journal where she kind of keeps things that people send her that she thinks are neat, ideas and things that she's done. She has one journal that she keeps all that stuff in. And I really want to do something like that as well, because I think that would help me just remember how to do some different things and just be a little more diverse in my journals. Sometimes I just get stuck on things. So like if I make this embellishment or I have a bunch of these made, then my next 10 journals will probably have these in them, which is nothing wrong with that. But then sometimes I forget about then I won't make these for a while and I'll forget, you know, that I did these. All right, so I need one more 3/4 inch piece. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, her pocket journal is cool, isn't it, Emma? I like it too. So it's just a great way to just kind of remember about things that you've done. Okay, so now I just put all the outsides on. Oops, I fibbed. One more. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do the inside hinge. Okay, so now I'll open them all up. And I just do an assembly line. I just lay them on top of each other. This is how I make a bunch of different embellishments of the same. A lot of people will always ask me, like, how do how do you have so many items of something? Because when I make something, I don't make one. I make at least 6, and I try to put them in my stash so that I need them to be just a smidge smaller, so that I have them piled up. And what I do is then when I'm going to use it, and I leave them plain like this, because then if I'm working with a theme or something, I can go ahead and I can decorate it with that theme. I am on a design team for Calico Collage, so a lot of times I will use her printables and I will, add something to the front like that. All right, so just going to go ahead and we're going to put our little piece in here, close it up. And these ones are not exact because I'm using scraps, but I mean, this is a great scrap project. And I'm using precise measurements, not just going in here and just winging it. And some days when I feel like I just want to decorate, then I have these. So it's been 42 minutes and I did a lot of talking, but we did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 of these embellishments done. Just as simple as that. So that's fun. Those are some things that you can do. The other thing you can do with your book pages. What did I do with my extra book pages? A lot of times I like to just cut tags out of them. And I know a lot of you do this as well. But I use every last bit I can. So once again, I cut the glue side off, which is this side. I just take a sliver of that off. And then what I'll do is I'll cut, let's go this way. I'll cut a 3-inch tag, and I can cut a 2-inch tag. And then I like my tags about 4 inches. And then of course I have this one. So I'm going to show you what to do with this one in just a second. And then when I do my bigger tags, I like them to be about 5 or 6 inches. So I'm just going to trim that off. You can simply just do a tag like this. Get your hole punch. Then I grab my reinforcers and I take my inker and I go right over them. just like that. And then I like to put reinforcers on them. Now, you don't have to do this. If you don't have these sticker reinforcers, you can use a hole, use a hole punch. And then I just ink up the edges, and I'll have quite a few of these as well. And then I like to sew around the edges of mine. So I'll sew around them. So I'll just put a big pile together. Then I'll grab my sewing machine one day and I'll just sew around them. Now, this one, we're going to do the same thing. Oops. And I put my whole reinforcers on there. And I can just ink around the edges of this one. And these are fun to just stamp. Sometimes I'll just get black ink on these smaller ones and I'll just stamp something. So get your book pages out. I challenge you to get those book pages out and start using them. Okay, so now this one I want to show you something else. So what I do sometimes is I will take these and I will make 3/4 inch or 1 inch. These are about 3/4 inch, 3/4 inch tags. And these are really fun too. Okay. And all you do is you do the same thing you do with the bigger tags. And these are fun because you can layer these. They can dangle off a page. And a lot of times I'll set them with an eyelet. So let me show you if I can grab some of my eyelets here. Okay, so I have a bag of eyelets. And I'm horrible at eyelets, so please don't judge me. They're not my favorite. I have not mastered this. And people have told me, you know, to move the thing and I'm using the wrong. You guys, I've done everything. I'm just not an eyelet setter. All right, so I just put an eyelet. Oops. Put the eyelet in. Oh, that one's not too bad. It didn't go all the way down though. All right, so then I just put an eyelet in, and these are fun because you can hook them. A lot of times I'll just take a word from, like I have these words right here from Tim Holtz. And sometimes I'll just take this and I'll find something that kind of fits. So this says being enchanted. And then I can just simply take a little tiny piece of muslin. Yep, the book pages are glued together. I glue about 3 together, Mitzi, to make them nice and sturdy. Okay, and I'm going to ink my sticker. And I'm going to glue this sticker onto here. I want it to stay on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to tear this. And we're going to add this right on here. And you could do more than that, but a lot of times I just do something in that. And then I have this cute little tag. And those are fun as well. So, you know, I use up every bit of those book pages. And I'll put these little tags in different things. You can add stickers. You can add stamps. You can, you know, if I wanted to grab just a stamp, in fact, maybe I will do that. Give me a second here. Just ink around here. So I like these little narrow tags. I think they're fun. Let me grab a little stamp. Let's see here. They're kind of big. Ooh, this ink pad's juicy. I forgot about that. So there we go. So I just stamped that stamp on there. Just as simple as that. So it's just another way that you can use up these book pages and make a cute little embellishment. And now I can just take this little eyelet and we'll set this little eyelet in here. Just like that. And then what I like to do is I like to take my little bulb pins, and then I can take, and sometimes I'll just hook this little piece of fabric on. So we'll go just like this, just like this. So I have this little piece of fabric, I have this stamped image, and then if I grab a button, this is fun too. You can grab a small button. Oops. And you've got a cute little hanging embellishment. Isn't that cute? And you can make a whole bunch of those up with very minimal supplies. And even this little piece, I mean, you could make a really tiny tag. And I could take and put one of these in here. If I can get my fingers to work. I told you guys, eyelets and me are not very good friends. Okay, can ink that up. And I could just simply grab another one of those stickers. I like this one, Generous and True. Whoops. And I'll ink that up. And I'm going to add that. Woo, right on there. So just simple, 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 tiny, cute. You know, you could layer a couple of these. I could take and I could put this one on here with this tag. So I could, if I can get my fingers to work, I could add this one on, and then I could add my little button on top. And I've got this cute little embellishment like this. Isn't that cute? And all it was is book page, you guys. I didn't do anything different. I mean, these are fun. So, you know, fight with your eyelet setter like I am and use up every bit of those book pages. And then when you're ready to make some embellishments or take all of these out to the couch and as you're watching TV or whatever, you know, put these together because it really doesn't take a lot of supplies. And if you don't have little eyelets, don't worry about it. Just punch a little hole in them and just go ahead and make those embellishments. You don't have to put eyelets in them. But I mean, this is cute, you guys, and it didn't take a lot. And look, it's just scrap. It's scrap fabric, 2 pieces of scrap paper, and a button. That's it. Yeah, it is double the fun little tag. You're absolutely right. And if I wanted to, I mean, I could even continue to layer. I could take one of these and I could hook it onto one of these tags if I wanted to. I mean, we could keep layering and layering and layering. I mean, we could do all kinds of things. I could put a little eyelet over here and I could hook this on over there. So there's just a variety of ways you can use these. And like I said, all these are is triple book pages. I'm cutting a 3-inch side. Whoops, I'm straightening the glue side. And when I say the glue side, I'm talking about the side that is glued into the spine. You can leave it raggedy, but I don't like that look, and I don't like how it's rough. It will sometimes leave marks on pages, so I don't like to do that. So then I'm going from there to here, throwing this piece away, taking my large piece, and I'm making it 5 inches because I like a 5 or 6 inch tag. So we'll make this one a little bit bigger. Here's my small tag, so I have 2 tags right there. Now I'm going to go over here. I like these tags about 4 inches long when I do them, which then leaves me an opportunity to cut 1, 2, 3, 4 more mini tags out of 1 book page. I get all of these tags. All I do is clip my edges, and you can, clip it and flip it to the other side. And I mean, I do these so much that I don't worry about if I'm off just a smidge. And these little teeny tinies. I do shorten those just a little bit just because I think when they're really long, they look kind of funny. See, and this is a perfect one to stamp on because there's not a lot of writing. So that's a great one to all right, and then I can just come in, take my hole punch that one. Whoops, I didn't cut the edges of this one. Hole punch this one. You can round the edges if you want. So like on this one, if I wanted to, I can round these edges. So it gives it a little bit different look. Ink it up quickly. Grab my little hole reinforcers. Pop those babies on there. And then once again, I have all these other embellishments. I can simply just make a tag by just adding that to the front and I'm done. So that's why I like to make these plain like this, because when I'm ready to embellish, I can just embellish. And some of you are saying, well, you can't write on the back of them. Well, you can just take some gesso and you can just do a real light coat of gesso on the back over this, and then you can write right over the gesso, or you can always put some coffee dyed paper if you want on there. Sometimes I just put a little square of coffee dyed paper on the back. So, you know, you don't always need a full sheet. It doesn't have to be completely covered. So you can do any of that. Oh, I'm glad you like those ideas, Emma. I hope you guys have a chance to try them out this week while you're home, and hopefully you're cleaning your craft rooms and getting some of your projects done. Oop, this one needs some glue. This one's big enough I can use a regular hole punch on that one. So we just hit the hour mark, and we made all of these tags, all of these double flips, in just about an hour. And these are really cute even if you don't put the eyelets in them. You know, just like this, they're just as cute. So if you don't have eyelets, don't worry about it. Still make them. And you can actually go right over the hole. Go a little darker and go over the hole. And that will... The other thing I love to do is sometimes just stencil on them, and that's it. A little less talking, and we probably would have gotten all these done in an hour. So here's another great one to stamp on, because there's not, or we could stamp on this side because there's not a lot of type. Here's a itty bitty. If you had a little peg stamp, you could peg stamp that one. But here is what we made in this short amount of time, other than making an absolute mess in my studio. Let's see what we ended up with. So we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 pieces to put in our stash. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. I hope you enjoyed this video and I inspired you to get out some book pages. Please take a moment to like and share this video. And I hope everybody has a wonderful week, you guys. And I challenge you, grab some book pages, sit down for an hour, and see how many embellishments you can make in that time. All right, have a great week. Stay safe, you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.